Hey, BoLS fans, AdamHarry back again with another quick BoLS overview. Today I've got the Imperial Fists, Codex Supplement, and of course their data cards as well. Real fast, let's just go through these data cards because it's a deck of cards, and then we'll dive into the good stuff, which is the book. So, Psychic Powers, their new Psychic Discipline, Geokinesis is in here as well. So you've got those 6 powers, which we'll go over in more detail in the book. You've also got their all the different stratagems. Ton of those. More stratagems. You get the idea. There's quite a few stratagems in here. Then we get to their tactical objectives, which if you're using the Maelstrom missions, those are fantastic to have around, and you should give them a try. Furthermore, more tactical objectives, all the standard tactical objectives too. So Imperial Fist stuff. You know what you're getting with these cards. They're actually really handy if you're playing with Imperial Fists. That said, let's go check out the book. All right, now the Imperial Fists have a new Codex Supplement, obviously. In here, bunch of new stuff, bunch of new rules, bunch of new lore, or maybe not new lore, but a closer look at the lore of the Imperial Fists. So if you are an Imperial Fist fan, this book is for you. Of course, it's going to focus on the history, the combat record, all that fun stuff. And data sheets for the new characters. Well, new character, and then sort of updates for the other characters. We'll get into that. And then, of course, all of your rules, Warlord Traits, their Psychic Powers, the Geokinesis, which we saw. What other fun stuff? Oh, their Tactical Doctrine and all that other, Combat Doctrine, buff, and all that good stuff. So, let's dive in. We have some awesome artwork throughout this whole book. I'm going to mention that real fast. This is an overview, so we're not going to go page by page, but I'm going to go pretty quick through some of the key components, and we'll highlight some of the cool new rules as well. Now, if you're not familiar with the Imperial Fists, they are called the Sentinels of Terra, the Emperor's Shield, the Imperium Shield, all these fancy names they defend Terra. They are the guys that are stationed nearby good old planet Earth. This book also contains some good stuff for the Crimson Fists, which are a successor chapter of the Imperial Fists. If you don't know the history on that, go check it out. It's actually really cool. They are a chapter with 10 companies, as you can see. So, which is important because it's adherence to the Codex. If you don't know the history of Dorn and the Codex versus Guilliman, also a fun read. You should check that out too. Anyway, we'll get in here. It does go through all 10 companies. The Defenders of Terra here, known as the Imperial Fists, it's 10 companies of them, so let's go ahead and check out a couple of those real fast. This is one of the things I really like. Oh, Phalanx is their big space station. It's reminiscent of like a Black Sun Fortress without all like the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. It's a really cool defensive platform / ship thing that keeps Terra safe. Anyway, here's their chapter organization. Again, 10 companies, and it kind of breaks down all the standard stuff that you see here. So, going through all the companies. Again, this is great. You get a couple of pages, or a page per company. Goes to their heraldry and color scheme, all their icons and things like that. So, why certain guys have red things on their shoulder pads versus white or black and stuff like that. All the different company colors, all that good stuff. Chapter command goes to them. The armory of the Imperial Fists as well. It also mentions their history real fast. I feel like this is shortened or something like that. I don't feel like the Imperial Fists are getting quite the love they deserve, but maybe that's just me. It does hit some highlights though. It does talk about pre-heresy kind of stuff, post-heresy stuff. A couple of their big campaigns as well, like I think the Beast is in here, stuff like that. Fate of Phalanx. Yeah, good stuff. Then it also brings up the Crimson Fists again. Probably why they shortened it, GW being them, just to talk about the Crimson Fists as well. So you get another 10 companies of them mentioned here. They don't get as much because they are a successor chapter. I feel kind of bad. I feel like the Crimson Fists may have gotten the short end of the stick there, but they are part of the Sons of Dorn, so it's okay. It's okay. It's all one big happy family, right? Tor Garadorn is the new character. Now, if you're familiar with their lore, he's not exactly a new character, but he has crossed the Rubicon Primaris. he is now a full-on Primaris character, so he's got a new model. He's got some fancy war gear. He's pretty cool. And we also have Lysander, who's one of the famous captains, famous characters really from the Imperial Fists, has moved up the ranks over time. He's now a captain. He's still wielding that awesome Thunderhammer, Storm Shield combo, Terminator armor. Somebody to not be trifled with. And then Pedro Cantor, the chapter master of the Crimson Fists, again, has boldly rebuilt his chapter after the Bryn's World issues. Anyway, got all the chapter marine color schemes and all that fun stuff. Crimson Fists, all the models here. And then we get into the actual rules here. So we're going to go through... it's actually got rules for Lysander, Cantor, Pedro Cantor, and Tor Garadon in this section. We're going to go through each one of these characters real quickly so you can see them. I don't believe Lysander got any major changes or overhauls. Still has Rights of Battle as a character. He's got... This is what's interesting. Now, we know that he's equipped with a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, right? But he does not have a Storm Shield listed here, which is interesting, right? But he now has this Walking Fortress rule. This model has a 3+ invulnerable save. So I guess anything that affected or bypassed Storm Shields for whatever reason, Lysander is also immune to those because he's not actually using a Storm Shield for his armor save, or for his invuln save. So I find that interesting and curious. Is all. I just wanted to point that out. Teleport Strike, and then icon of what was it? Obstinacy. Morales is taken for an Imperial Fist within 6 inches of this model. No more than one model can flee. So they're hanging out. That's how that rule works. Next up, Tor Garadon. Again, this is the new character. Pretty sweet looking power fist there. It's the Hand of Defiance, which you see here. It's ×3 strength, so doing some basic math. 4 × 3 is 12. It's AP 3 and 3 damage a pop, and you do subtract 1 from hit rolls. Now he is a captain, so you are getting the rerolls of 1, and he's a 4-up invuln save. Signum Array, so he can allow a unit of Imperial Fist within 3 inches to get a 2+ ballistic skill, which is pretty nice. And then he also has Siege Captain, so you get to add 1 to the damage characteristic of weapons being used for the attack when you're fighting a vehicle or building. So he can demolish buildings. All of those games you're playing with buildings, he will punch them to death. He also has a grav gun, which is kind of neat. So cool stuff. He's like the first Primaris to actually use a grav gun, so at least model-wise. So there's his cool new model. And then we pop over to Cantor as well. Again, similar to his old rules, not a ton change probably from White Dwarf to this version of him. Still rocking Dorn's Arrow, 24-inch Assault 4 shots. Power Fist as well. He still has the -1. All the other stuff. Frag Crack Grenades. He is a Chapter Master, so you are going to reroll hit rolls for attacks made by models with friendly Crimson Fist units. Yes, so that's the difference. Is he's not a captain, he's a Chapter Master. So again, he's rerolling hit rolls. So that's very important. It's a nice little boost for other Crimson Fists nearby. He also has the Oath of Ren, which adds 1 to the attack characteristics of models in a friendly Crimson Fist with while they're within 6 inches of him. So Pedro's actually a boss because you're not only getting reroll hits within 6 inches, you're also getting +1 attack, and he has an Iron Halo with 4-up invuln save. I still respect the heck out of Pedro Cantor on the tabletop. He makes assault guys really nasty. He makes shooting guys also really nasty. Just all around pretty nasty stuff. Their big thing here, this is their chapter combat tactic upgrade thing. This is the Legacy of Dorn. This is the Devastator. Well, while the Devastator Doctrine is active, when resolving an attack with a heavy weapon by a model with this ability against a vehicle or building, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that weapon attack. So, again, if you're playing Imperial Fists, this is an interesting ability. It's pretty well known in the lore that they are fans of bolt weapons, and if you slap this, slap a bunch of guys down with heavy bolters, they're suddenly doing 2 damage a shot. While the Combat Doctrine is active, the Devastator Combat Doctrine is active. That starts at the first turn of the game. So your heavy bolters, which, you know, I'll be honest, I've crapped on in the past, I'm not going to lie. But they're now 2 damage a pop. You've tripled the damage output of a heavy bolter because they have 3 shots. Any other weapons, heavy weapons that have a single damage but a lot of shots, you've multiplied their damage. This is an awesome force multiplier. It's less great for, say, like a las cannon, where you only get 1 shot, but that 1 shot now has the potential to do 7 points of damage. So there is some trade-offs there. So I personally think that you want more shots to do potentially more damage per shot. So just kind of depends on how you want to build your forces. But the Sentinels of Terra, not Scions, it's the Scions earlier. Sentinels of Terra, my bad, are rocking that ability. It's pretty cool. And then there's other rules in here for chapter relics, stratagems, all that fun stuff. You get the idea. They have some cool warlord traits here. Again, there's 6 here for the Imperial Fists and 3 for the Crimson Fists. But hey, you're rocking Pedro. You don't need those. Anyway, he, by the way, has the Stoic Defender ability, which is this one. Which friendly Pedro has. Friendly Crimson Fist units have the Defenders of Humanity ability. See Codex Space Marine while they're within 6 inches of this warlord. If such a unit already has that ability, each model in that unit counts as 2 models for the purposes of that ability. So, pretty handy there for leadership checks and things like that. For the Warlord traits, for the Imperial Fists, I was trying to find the one that I think is pretty cool. They're actually pretty gnarly against buildings and vehicles. Look, let's be honest. I don't think anybody's actually using the building rules unless you're playing with siege stuff. But it's important that this is add 1 to the wound roll against vehicles also. So if you have a warlord with a thunderhammer, you know, go in there and smash face, go tear some people up with that. It's kind of neat. Lysander actually has the Indomitable, so he doesn't get wounded on wound rolls of 1 through 3, which is crazy awesome. And then Tor Garadon has Siege Master here, which is the one I was just talking about. So if he's your warlord, he gets +1 to wound versus vehicles. He will punch a vehicle and explode it. It's kind of crazy. Cool relics here. They have their 6 relics, plus their special issue war gear, which I believe is another 6, but it's kind of some of the similar ones. You got the standard stuff, Adamantium Mantle, the Artificer Armor, Mastercrafted Weapon, which you can give to Sergeants. They have that stratagem too. Digital weapons, the Fist of Terra. They also have... this one's interesting. This is a Power Fist relic weapon. It's times 2 strength, 3 AP, D3 damage. When the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon as a Power Fist. And again, it does not replace... does not cause the -1 to punch rolls or hit rolls when you're punching with this thing. So that's kind of nice. Gatebreaker bolts is another interesting thing. Basically, you give it to somebody with a bolter. They only get 1 shot for their attacks, but they do D3 wounds for those attacks, for that attack, and they are a -5. Yeah, -5 for that shot, and it's a damage characteristic of 1, which is pretty cool. So, pop through there. They've got some other cool relics as well. Stratagems, ton of stratagems. They have the ones that you were thinking that you want, the stuff to make a sergeant a character and give him stuff. All that other great stuff. Bolter drill's back again. So, yeah. Geokinesis is their psychic power discipline. We've seen the preview for Rack and Ruin, but they've got some other cool ones too. I'll read Chasm real quick. Chasm has a warp value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit that cannot fly and is within 18 inches of invisible to this psyker. Roll 2d6. If the result is less than the lowest move characteristic in that unit, it suffers 1 mortal wound. If the result is equal to the lowest move characteristic, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If the result is greater than the lowest move characteristic in that model, it suffers 3 mortal wounds. So, this is going to be targeting probably infantry or vehicles or something like that. Most infantry have like a 5 through 8. So if you roll 2d6, your average of 7, if you tie them, you're doing D3 mortal wounds, but if you beat their move characteristic, you're doing 3 mortal wounds to that unit. They're getting sucked in, man. It's Jaws of the World Wolf, but now it's Jaws of the Imperial Fist Chasm there. Anyway, tactical objectives there too. You also get, of course, the name generator, which we love that. So that's the majority of the Codex. Well, folks, that was a really quick run through of the Codex supplement for the Imperial Fists, and of course their data cards. Great stuff. If you're playing the Imperial Fists, this book is pretty much a must-buy. And if you're not playing Imperial Fists, you should check these guys out. They've got a couple of dirty tricks in there. But overall, I'm pretty even keel on these guys. I think they're solid. They're not broken. They're solid. I would give them a solid B on a standard scale there. So yeah, they're not crazy broken. They're not going to be pushovers either. So, and if you play a vehicle heavy army, they are going to love fighting you. So go check them out. Anyway, I'm AdamHarry from BoLS. Thanks for watching. Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.